Ladies and gentlemen, please find your seats. The program is about to begin.
Hey, my friend, I heard you had a nightmare.
I got in about 12:30.
Oh, my goodness. You
10
okay?
hours in the gym.
Holy moly. Holy moly. Had the last couple weeks myself, so I just. I'm sorry? Oh, I got it, for sure. You got it.
You know tomorrow's going to be beautiful. 74 degrees and no humidity.
You're gonna sweat it out of your head.
The one over the house.
It's really weird. It's like, 'cause I have a mask, I have a real serious heat aversion. It's like my heat aversion, my body doesn't process heat. So when I get hot, I can feel it. When it's cool, I can feel it. And I don't know when it's harder than to either. Well, you need to get some ice packs.
Will you please take your seats? Will everyone please take their seats? We are 20 seconds away from beginning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. How's everybody doing? That's the attitude we want for the entire ceremony. It's a day of celebration, okay? I want to welcome you all to the dedication and ribbon cutting ceremony of the new Fisher House serving Captain James A. Lowell's Federal Health Care Center. I want to thank everyone for joining us today as we celebrate this milestone that we've been anticipating for quite a long time, the 100th Fisher House opening. Come on now, give it up. Providing a home away from home for our family members and caregivers of hospitalized service members and veterans. Please stand, if you're able to, for the national anthem sung by U.S. Navy veteran Alice Walker, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance by Major General James Mukayama, U.S. Army retired Council Chair of the Lovell FHCC Shareholders Advisory and Executive Board Member at Large at the Friends of Fisher House, Illinois. And finally, the invocation by the Lovell Federal Health Care Center Chaplain, Jesse Sooms. So stay standing. Thank you. And please, welcome the FCC, the Lovell FHCC Color Guard.
Color guard, attention! Carry! Colors! Forward! March! March time! March! Colors! Up! Preset! Arms!
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we'd hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights and the ramparts we'd watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Shoulder! Arms! Ready? Cut! March time! March!
Ladies and gentlemen, Lovell FHCC Color Guard.
Pledge of Allegiance.
I'm so sorry. I just served the congregation.
Okay, it's my turn to lead us all in the Pledge of Allegiance. The colors have been retired, but I'm going to ask you to just follow me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. And Dr. Soon, going to do the invocation? I'm sorry. Chaplain. Oh, here's Chaplain Jesse Soon to offer the invocation.
Let's pray. Loving God, we thank you for this Fisher House in North Chicago, which we know dedicated to the service of veterans and their families. Bless this house and all who use it. Grant that this place will build up a spirit of community and bring peace and joy, comfort, love, hope, and healing into veterans and their families' lives. We also pray that as this new facility is open, the staff may be reminded that we do here is a calling, not a job. It is a calling to be the best and do the best for those we are to serve. It is a partnership here that all of us together may fulfill a mission of helping all people to come to full personhood. Loving God, we ask your continued blessing on all gathered here. Give success to the carefully planned proceedings we are gathered here to celebrate. And may all that we do give glory, praise, and honor to you always. Amen.
You know, when Zachary Fisher answered the call to support military families during a medical crisis, I wonder if he actually thought about how long, how far-reaching, and how inspirational that commitment would become. We are all here today, 3 decades later, 99 homes later, making good on that promise that our heroes will never, ever, ever be forgotten. All of us here today have chosen to turn passion into action, words into deeds, and a man's vision into a nationwide movement. Our service members and our veterans and our families deserve nothing less than the medical care and compassion, a community and support they receive while here. Before we go any further, I would also like to ask all of our members in uniform and those who have worn the uniform to please stand for just a second so you can be recognized. We have several guests who have joined us today to mark this very special occasion, several very special guests. Our host, Dr. Robert Buckley, Director of the Lovell Federal Health Care Center, and also the Honorable Secretary Doug Collins, Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Dr. Stephen Ferrara, Acting Assistant Secretary of Defense for Health Affairs, Congressman Sean Casten, Illinois District 6, Congressman Brad Snyder, Illinois District 10, Sergeant Alan Lynch, Congressional Medal of Honor recipient. Please. Captain James Lovell, retired captain, NASA astronaut, and the hospital namesake. Please give it up. Mr. Ken Fisher, Chairman and CEO of Fisher House Foundation, and his wife Tammy. And we also have flag officers and distinguished guests in our audience today from all over the country that came here to gratefully and help. We're grateful that you came here to help us all celebrate. To the donors and Fisher House supporters who have made this day possible, thank you so much for your gifts of time, talent, and treasure. We would not be here today without you, so please give them all a big round of applause. I'm your MC for today. My name is Montel Williams. A lot of you only know me as the talk show host that you invited into your living rooms for 17 years, and I say thank you for that. But some of you don't know that I served in both the Marine Corps and the Navy. After enlisting in the Marine Corps, once a Marine, always a Marine, always. Unfortunately for me, before I graduated from the academy, I went through some very serious medical issues that caused me to be what they called then an NPQ, not physically qualified to serve. So then I was not allowed to go back in the Marine Corps when I finally received my commission. I was allowed to be commissioned as a naval officer, and I took on this position as a special duty intelligence officer. Ended up spending more time at sea than all of my peers who were physically qualified. Still trying to figure that out to the day. I have 3 full submarine deployments underwater, totaling about 330 days. I have over 600 days on the water. But it's my military career that really defines me the most. And I will tell you, being now a trustee for Fisher House is probably, I consider, the #1 achievement of my life. Thank you. Thank you. I'm just going to divert a little bit off the script for just a second to kind of make you understand why I support Fisher House, what I do. 7 years ago, I suffered an extreme hemorrhagic stroke, the type that had blood moved in my brain 1/100th of an inch, I wouldn't be talking to you today. Normally, 50% of the people who have the type of stroke that I have don't make it. I will tell you that the only reason why I'm here is because I spent a full 30 days in the hospital, and my wife slept in a gurney beside me every day. Though it wasn't a Fisher House, the fact that I had family there helping me with my care, telling me I could make it, telling me don't give up, that's what they do here at Fisher House. Family members are there, loved ones are there to support you through your trials and help you understand that there's so much more worth living for. The service that Fisher House provides is unequaled, I believe, by any foundation in this entire country. They deserve every accolade, and the fact that you're opening the 100 today, getting ready to open the next 100, please. Our first speaker today, Dr. Robert Buckley, has served as the director of the Louisville FHCC since October 2018. He leads an integrated VA Department of Defense team of approximately 3,500 employees, serving veterans, active duty military personnel, and military dependents. The Louisville FHCC is responsible for medical readiness for more than 40,000 Navy recruits annually. Dr. Robert Buckley recently served as the Chief of Staff at the Jesse Brown Veterans Healthcare System. He entered the VA in 2016 after a career in the U.S. Navy, where he held the rank of Navy Captain, serving his assignment as the Deputy Director and Commanding Officer for the Louisville FHCC. Dr. Buckley.
Thank you. Thank you. What an honor. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Williams. So on behalf of the staff of the Captain James A. Lovell Federal Health Care Center, all of our employees and our active duty in uniform, I'd like to thank all of our distinguished guests who made it here today to pick probably the hottest day of the year, right, the day before it's going to cool off, but taking a lot of your valuable time to come up and be a part of this 100th Fisher House. Certainly want to thank Mr. Fisher and your family and the Fisher Foundation for decades of support, decades. Supporting both military and veteran family members. They've received so much compassionate hospitality during times when those families were at their most vulnerable and in real need of comfort, and that the Fisher Houses have been here for that. I'd like to first, again, thank and recognize our Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Mr. Doug Collins, and as well as our DHA Admiral, Matt Case, who's here representing us here for Defense Health Agency. Also, for on the other side of the Potomac from Vermont, we have the Assistant Secretary of Defense for Health Affairs, Mr. Steve Ferrara, one of my old sidekicks back in Balboa days in San Diego. My boss from Vision 12, Dr. Dan Zomchak, is here. I'd like to thank him. He keeps me grounded. Not like grounded like a bad teenager, but he keeps sometimes, but he keeps me grounded. And certainly our congressmen, Brad Snyder and Sean Caston, for being here with us. Mayor Rockingham, Mayor Lena Rockingham here in North Chicago has been just an incredible support for the community that we deliver care in. So I just appreciate you, sir, and your staff for all they do for us. And we also have retired Force Master Chief Terry Prince, who's now the Illinois Veterans Affairs, Department of Veterans Affairs is here joining us. We met Major General Mukayama, who's been integral to being the chairperson of our Stakeholders Advisory Council, which means for us, the voice, the organized voice of all of those who are entrusted to our care. So multiple patient advisory committees and other advisory committees, ombudsmen from families that get care at our hospital, multiple committees and groups that funnel into our Stakeholder Advisory Council that keep us informed and keep us, again, keep us all grounded and focused on what matters most to those entrusted to our care. So generally, I just wanted to thank you for that and all you've done. And then certainly last but not least, I just want to say what an honor every time we get to see Captain Jim Lovell here at the facility, or we get to meet him somewhere. Over the years, he's been, I'd say, an inspiration to me and to all of our staff. And I would say you kind of help keep our staff centered when we've had a problem. I think that just knowing that you're there and we have you as our namesake keeps it from being a problem. And as you reminded me, you are a lot better looking than Tom Hanks. You reminded me of that several times. Yeah. So I got to tell you, I think it's emblematic that the Captain James A. Lovell Federal Health Care Center was selected to be, and this is quite an honor, the 100th Fisher House. Since 2010, Lovell FHCC North Chicago has been a pioneer, for lack of a better word, a learning lab for fully integrated, meaning merged and blended, joint and wedded defense and veteran staff that come together under a single organizational structure, single budget, single unified mission that we carry in our motto of readying warriors and caring for heroes. We've had that carrying us forward. You know, I got to tell you, the average American, I think, drives by a typical VA medical center in their town or city, or possibly a typical military treatment facility they drive by, and they might say, I wonder if Grandpa qualifies to get care there. He's an Air Force veteran. I wonder if he could be any problem with getting him seen at that nice Navy hospital in that given town. Or somebody might say, you know, now that my daughter's joined the Marine Corps, I wonder if she's back home to visit if she were to get sick or something. Would she be able to be seen in that really big, nice VA hospital at my house? Well, I can tell you this. If your loved ones are eligible for care as a veteran or an active duty service member or family member, and you live somewhere between Chicago and Milwaukee, the answer is here, no problem at all. Our 350 Joint Navy and GS staff stand together, ready to care every day for all of those that are entrusted to our care. And thanks to the Fisher Family Foundation, if we have a patient and they have a visiting family, they wonder, I wonder if I could stay there in that nice Fisher hour. I know the answer is, sir, And I'll make sure it happens, Captain Rowe and I. The answer will be no problem at all. No problem at all. And I'll tell you, it is not a problem, but I will tell you, it's not been easy for, it's been easy for our patients. We try to make it as easy as possible for our families to get their care. But it's not necessarily easy every day in the last 15 years for our staff to pull this off, to be that blended, unified operations budget, all of that. It's not an easy walk in the park, but I can tell you, and it's not easy for the two federal agencies to come together. It's hard. It's hard to keep an eye on us sometimes. But I will tell you, I'll just quote maybe 65 years ago, about the time when I was being born, there was a guy, gave a speech down in Texas. You probably know all the lines of it. One of the things I'll paraphrase, he said, "We choose to do the things not because they're easy, but because they're hard." And while some days a little bit hard, it's definitely worth it. So about 25 years ago, there were two hospitals sitting here along Chicago's North Shore. The old Naval Hospital Great Lakes that was right along the lakefront over there, and the old North Chicago VA Medical Center, the old Downey VA for folks that have been here a really long time. And I'll tell you, both were earmarked for downsizing and some demo, I think, back in the day, around the turn of the millennium. And that would have left our patients, and the service that needed the readiness support, that have left them in the lurch. But that didn't happen. That didn't happen. Someone, in fact, a group of dedicated someones from both sides of the aisle, top brass from both departments, said, how hard can it be? So I'd say about 15, 20, 25 years ago, they started working on this. And they'd said, no, let's not work on that downsizing and demolition. Let's see if there's a new way to integrate our construction and equipment, organizational structure, funding, budget, and get them focused around a single mission. So our veterans, our service members and their families, and their line leaders and stakeholders can continue to enjoy ready access to the full complement of the foundational services that you need, including acute inpatient, regular hospital services here, never shutting down. We can't do it alone. The support of partners like our Fisher family and an amazing Fisher Foundation can't do that alone. Captain James A. Lovell Federal Healthcare Center will continue to provide a unique model, I think, for the future of VA and DoD healthcare facilities in areas where the conditions are right to have this type of relationship or something similar. And together, we'll continue, both VA and DoD, to ready warriors and care for heroes. So thanks again to the Fisher Foundation and for everybody for everybody works so hard on my team and the Fisher Foundation, my team worked very hard to bring all this together. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Buckley. Navy Captain Chad Rowe was appointed Deputy Director of the Lovell FHCC in July 2024 and is also Commanding Officer of Navy Medicine Readiness and Training Center, Great Lakes, the command located at the Lovell FHCC. He supports the Director with all leadership administration functions within the Healthcare Center and maintains the Uniform Code of Military Justice authority over active duty personnel, and is responsible for the day-to-day operations of this healthcare center. Captain Rowe was commissioned as an ensign in the Medical Service Corps in 1996 and has served in leadership positions in many hospitals and commands stateside and overseas. In 2018, Captain Rowe served as Director of Platform Support for NMRTC, Jacksonville, and was assigned the Executive Officer of the Expeditionary Medical Facility, Mike, where he deployed in March of 2020 to support COVID-19. Captain Rowe.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. What an audience it is. A round of applause for coming out today in this heat. Yeah. No, we really appreciate this, truly, to see the coming together, an opportunity to recognize basically the love and character that the Fisher family brings to those ones that are ill and sick. You know, because I am deeply honored to be here, staying here before today, and make some truly monumentous occasion. The acceptance of the 100th Fisher House at the Captain James A. Lovell Federal Healthcare Center to the entire Fisher House Foundation, especially Ken, Tammy. We extend our profound gratitude. Your unwavering dedication and tireless effort have brought us to this incredible milestone. For over 3 decades, the Fisher House Foundation has been a beacon of hope, comfort for military and veteran families during their most challenging times. You have built homes, literally and figuratively, that provide warmth and supportive environment, allowing families to be close to their loved ones during those medical crises. This is not merely brick and mortar. It is all about providing sanctuary, a place of respite and vital link to healing. Here at Captain James A. Lovell Federal Healthcare Center, we are uniquely positioned to serve both our active duty and service members as an esteemed veterans. This 100th Fisher House will be an invaluable asset in our mission. It will ensure that our families of our brave men and women who have sacrificed so much to our nation have placed a call home when they need it most. Whether they're navigating the complexities of long-term recovery or providing comfort during a critical illness, the Fisher House will stand as a testament of our commitment to their well-being. To the families who will walk through the doors of this new Fisher House, please know that you are not alone. This house is a symbol of the immense gratitude, support that a grateful nation extends to you. It is a place where you can find strength and community, share burdens, and focus on what truly matters: the health and recovery of loved ones. This 100th Fisher House is more than just a building. It is a powerful embodiment of the compassion, generosity, and endearing spirit of service. It represents a shared commitment to those who have senselessly served our country. On behalf of the entire Captain James A. Lovell Federal Healthcare Center, and on behalf of every service member, veteran, and family members whose lives will be touched by this remarkable gift, thank you. Thank you to the Fisher House Foundation for your incredible legacy and for continuing to make such a profound difference in the lives of many. We truly are honored for the passion and life that you've put into this for those that have served our nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It has been an honor to say that I've known Ken Fisher for quite a long time. In fact, I think the first time we met was when we were counting only 50 Fisher houses. What a long way we've come. He and his family have created a legacy that is the Fisher House program. His business leadership and his philanthropic nature with a passion for serving our country is what drives this organization forward. This family truly embodies the old saying, a living is determined by what you get. A life is made by what you give. This family understands giving. Again, the Fisher family. Today, the Fisher House has helped more than, get this, 545,000 families across the world to support their loved ones and receive care far from home. The Fisher family's commitment to military families is unparalleled, and the chairman and CEO, Ken Fisher, of Fisher House, is here to share what's to come next, because there is something coming next. Please welcome Mr. Ken Fisher.
Before I begin, I want to take my staff to task a little bit because when I said find a good day to open up the 100th house, I didn't mean on a 100-degree day. If you're warm, take your jackets off, please. We don't need to be so formal. But I want to thank you for sharing this day with me. I want to thank my close friend, Montel Williams, for emceeing today. I can't think of a better master of ceremonies than you. And I also want to thank my friend and singing companion, Secretary Collins, for being here today. Thank you, sir. And for everyone else for taking the time. Today, we dedicate Fisher House 100. That number 100 is more than a milestone. It's a testament. It's a testament to what's possible when a mission is driven by purpose, rooted in compassion, and sustained by the unwavering belief that we must always care for those who serve and for those who serve beside them. And it's meaningful that this 100th home is located at a place that is named for one of my heroes, truly, Captain James A. Lovell. Thank you, sir, for being here as well. At the Lovell Federal Health Care Center, the only federal health care center in the nation where the Department of Veterans Affairs and the Department of Defense provide care side by side. It's a place that represents unity, collaboration, and innovation, ideals that our foundation strives to uphold. Excuse me. When my Uncle Zachary Fisher began this mission 3.5 decades ago, he did so with a simple but powerful idea that no military or veteran family should ever have to worry about where they stay or how they would afford it. He knew that while one person wears the uniform, the entire family serves, and that in times of healing, family is the greatest source of strength. It's simple, really. A family's love is the best medicine of all. Besides Zach was his wife, Elizabeth, who brought grace and heart to his vision, and together they created a promise that these families would always be cared for. Today, my wife, Tammy, and I, and all we work with, carry that legacy forward. Thank you, honey. Not just by repeating what we've done before, but by staying true to our values while meeting the ever-changing needs of the military and the veteran communities. Over the last 2 decades, those needs have shifted. During Iraqi freedom and enduring freedom, we saw a new generation of service members facing wounds that would have been fatal in previous conflicts. That led to challenges that were longer lasting, more complex, and far too often invisible. Recovery became more than a short-term event. It became a journey. That meant that Fisher House had to evolve, while at the same time continuing to honor those who served in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and the first Gulf War. We didn't just build more houses, we built with the intention for what's ahead. We listened, we learned, and we planned to be ready for whatever would come next. We expanded capacity. We adapted designs while keeping in mind that critical support system that forms in every house. And we stayed flexible, knowing that every family is different and every story unique. But while we've grown, our mission never changed, and neither has the need. Every day, families continue to travel long distances for care. Every day, someone's life is changed by a diagnosis, a surgery, a deployment, or a transition. And every day, those of us at Fisher House, our Fisher House managers and volunteers, are there to say, you are not alone. But reaching 100 is not the end. In just 2 weeks, we installed the furniture and we'll open the 101st house in Little Rock, Arkansas, and we've celebrated how impactful the program has been, but we're not slowing down. There are still families waiting. There are still communities without a Fisher House. There are still opportunities to be there when it matters the most. We're committed to building forward with urgency and purpose and with the same guiding principles that brought us here: dignity, respect, and deep gratitude for the families who served and sacrificed alongside their loved one. None of this would be possible without the people who stand with us. To our partners at the VA and the Department of Defense, we thank you for your trust and your collaboration. To my incredible Fisher House staff and volunteers, stand up, please. All of you. Dave, Tish, where are you? Michelle, Nancy. It's you that bring these homes to life every single day. And to our donors whose generosity helps make every new house a reality, thank you. Your belief in this mission has allowed it to grow stronger with every passing year. Your support is not just appreciated, it's valued, it's remembered, and it's respected. Thank you to 84 Lumber, Combined Insurance, the Duncan Family, Enterprise Mobility Foundation, Floor and Decor, Friends of the Fisher House, Illinois, the Getters, Men's Warehouse, Pritzker Family Foundation, Savan Charitable Foundation, the HPB Foundation, the Waller Family Foundation, Wabash Corporation, United Airlines, United Rentals, and Vehicles for Veterans, and the many gifts of a grateful nation. Most of all, to the families we serve, you are the reason that we build. You're the heart of this mission, and you are the inspiration behind every new step that we take. We've reached 100, but we're not done. We never will be, because as long as there are families who need us, there'll be a Fisher House waiting for them. God bless this house, God bless you all, and God bless this great nation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ken. Our keynote speaker today, VA Secretary Doug Collins, is an accomplished attorney with more than a decade of legislative experience, representing the people of Georgia in both the state legislature and later in the U.S. House of Representatives. As a U.S. Air Force chaplain, Secretary Collins has ministered to our nation's military since 2002. He completed a 2008-2009 deployment to Iraq while stationed at the Balad Air Base. Secretary Collins remains a colonel right now in the Air Force Reserves, and he previously served in the U.S. Navy Reserves. He is the 12th Secretary of the Department of Veterans Affairs and is here today to celebrate with us. Please join me in welcoming VA Secretary Doug Collins. Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you, Montel, and thank you for all for being here, and for my VA family, our DoD family as well. Also, I have a note for my staff that is here with me traveling from Washington. If I have to speak after Ken again, you can walk home. No, it is a pleasure to be here. I mean, what better way to be here? As I look out across this, I see the friends, I see the families, I see the folks that have come together. I see our military that has come together. I see my former colleagues, Brad, Sean. It's good to see y'all. It's good to see our DoD come together with VA. I've said this before. I told the Secretary of Defense this a long time ago. I said, and it's been something that has really, frankly, you talked about coming together. It's not happened a lot and probably should. As I told the Secretary of Defense, I said, Pete, I said, you got to understand the VA and DoD are fraternal twins. We just take care of each other at different points. You take care of them to get them in, and I take care of them when you let them go. And that's really the way it needs to be. Our country needs to understand that. And Sergeant Lynch, you are a prime example of what a hero looks like. And sitting here today, you honor us, and I thank you for that. But we wouldn't be here without the vision of the Fisher family. And there are many things that you get to do, and there's things you have to do, and there's things that you get pulled to do when you're a cabinet secretary, and especially one that has a department that is the largest of all of the cabinet departments. DoD, I'm part of that, so I'll speak as family. We think we are, but when you break us apart, I'm actually bigger than the active duty Army. Thank you very much. We're good. 460,000+ people that come together. But when it takes to the leadership of two that I'm about to talk about, it comes down to family. And for me, when I look out and I see Rolling Thunder, when I see our members who are here today, and I see your families, and I know what you've been through. I see my VA family, the chaplain, and everybody else who's come. I think of what has become my new friend, someone that I look up to and his family, and Ken and Tammy, especially if we ever get tired and you see our new album coming out, you'll know that Ken and I do sing together. If anybody's wondering at the Warrior games last week, if you heard that, if you've watched any of the videos from when the singing was going on, you heard that screeching going on in the front, it was us. We're very proud of that. But then there's also one other that I want to mention as well, because I want to tie this all together why the Fisher House matters. Fisher House matters because family matters and because all of us are not in this alone. And unfortunately, today, we have too many of our veterans and we have too many of our veterans' families, and frankly, too many people in general who believe that they're going through this alone. But I'm the Secretary of VA, so my first and foremost function is to take care of the veterans that we have in this country. And when I see those who have come to the place in their life where they don't feel like they can work it out anymore, where they feel like that they're alone and they're not able to get the help, then it breaks my heart. And the number, and I see it on some of the patches, is 20 or 22 a day, whatever you want to have, is a reminder that we as military folks and we as the VA need to come together to make sure no one feels alone. The Fisher houses are those kind of places. The Fisher houses are those places that when you're going through a struggle, you need somebody that knows what you're going through. You need navigators. You need friends. You need just somebody, as we just talked about just a few minutes ago, Tammy, there are rooms in that house where you can cry by yourself, and there's rooms in that house where you can cry on the shoulder of someone else. We all need that sometimes. Ken and his family have made that happen. And through the partnership of DOD and VA and the partnership with the Fisher House and all that it has done, 100 is just the beginning. 101, 102, 103. But you know, it's more than just the number. It's the people that are helped. We could build buildings all over the place and they do no help. Do no good. They lead nowhere. You go through those doors, it leads to open arms. It leads to someone willing to take the time to listen. It leads to someone who cares. Taking the wonderful medical staff that is here that will take care of them in every medical situation. But then there's that time for transition, and there's that family who I have been a part of, who's had a member who is laid up, who couldn't get there. You want to be there. And providing a little extra help of not worrying about where they're going to sleep and who's going to pay for it. This is what the Fisher House does. And we're happy at the VA to partner with this. This is a partnership that will continue. And if anything, under my leadership, it's going to continue to grow. Because there's one focus and one focus only for the VA, and especially as I get the chance to be here and be very proud to be the VA Secretary. The only thing that matters at the VA anymore is our structure. We'll take care of that. Our people, we're going to take care of that. But you know what matters to us is our veterans. That's it. We only exist and get up in the mornings for one reason, and that is our veteran. We have no real other constituency except a veteran. So how do we do that? I loved what you said earlier, talking about how it's hard sometimes. And it is. Believe me. There's not a day that goes by that I don't get an email that I say, what the heck? Are you kidding me? But you know, that's what we're here for. That's why we do the things that are hard, even when it is hard. But I have to tell you a story because this is my final, and also being an old Baptist preacher, I know what it's like to be between people and a meal and also getting out of hot weather. And that is, a number of years ago, I'll tell you a story. And I think it shows the leadership of what the Fisher House brings together and what this DOD-VA collaboration here at the Level Health Center means. Back in 2005, there was a big change in my life. It was at that moment I left a church that I'd been pastoring. I had felt God calling me, and I know some of you are going to laugh at this. They called me from the pulpit to go to law school. It's okay, you'll figure it out later. It's grace and law. And at that point in time, I had 3 young children, a wife who taught school, and we wanted to do this. We came together, we prayed about it, and we said, this is what we're going to do. But I had no job except a reserve every month, 1 weekend a month, and that was it. My wife had her job, so I'd pack sandwiches, get on the bus, and go to law school. But before we went, we took one last family vacation because we wasn't going to be able to afford any vacations for the next 3 years. And we went down to Cape Canaveral. We stayed in Florida, and the kids played on the beach. And one day we took them out to Kennedy Space Center. And we went through, and of course we saw everything. Went through the bookstore, went through the concessions, all these kind of things. And I bought 2 things for myself. The kids got all their little stuff, but I bought 2 things for myself because it was at that point in my life that I had just sort of cast off all anchors, so to speak, from my Navy time. And I said, I got nowhere else to do. It's either we're going to make this or we're not. Sort of like what we happen here when we bring the VA and DOD together, which is going to be more and more in the future. Mark my words. But it's also like what happened when they saw a need for families to stay together in the Fisher House. It wasn't a matter of could we do it, it was a matter of what we were going to do. So that day I bought a keychain and a card. It said failure is not an option. I looked at my wife and asked her to do a lot of things, and she was going to have to be the main breadwinner for 3 years, and I was going to study, and I was going to coach football, and I was going to do this. But Apollo 13, failure is not an option. I took that keychain, I took this card that is in my hand, put it in my briefcase, and I put this one, and I taped it over my desk. I took the keychain with me every day to law school. I saw it every day. When it got to be hard, I'd see the thing. It's not, failure's not an option. Failure's not an option. At the end of my law school, for those of you who think that I'm a little bit crazy, yes, it is true. I graduated in May, took the bar in July. I deployed to Iraq in August. And this and that keychain went with me. It's traveled to Iraq. It's traveled all over the world. The keychain has been with me. It still sits on my desk at the VA right now. And this is taped. For anybody who's been to my office, this is taped right below my computer screen. And now it actually has the signature of Mr. Lovell. Now, I don't tell you that story except to say you've been a part of my life for a long time, whether you knew it or not, and you can take me off on your taxes if you need to be. It's okay. I tell you that story because that's where we are with veterans. That's where we are with those who raise that right hand and say for service. Failure is not an option for this country. Failure is not an option for the VA. Failure is not an option for DOD. And I know for a fact, because I know this man and I know his wife and I know his family, Fisher House failure is not an option. They will take care of our veterans. They will make sure they are loved, and they will put them back as whole as they possibly can be, because this country leaves no one behind. So over the years, as these doors are opened, as this combination of VA and DOD continues to take care of people in North Chicago, I'm going to keep my eyes up. I'm going to keep my focus on the horizon. I'm not going to look down at my feet. And even on hard days when we don't know the answers, whether it be in Congress or the administration or in our facilities, there's only going to be one thing that will drive me. And if I'm ever in doubt, I will simply look around and I'll remember this day, 100. I'll remember this house. I'll remember the friends. I'll remember heroes. I'll turn around and I'll look at my computer screen, and right below it will be failure is not an option. And right now, at the VA, I commit to you, we will do whatever we can, as best we can, because as the world changes, so will we. But one thing will never change. Failure to take care of our veterans is not an option. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Secretary. Making a very special presentation on behalf of the Medal of Honor Foundation today is former U.S. Army Sergeant Lynch, who deeply understands the meaning of service and sacrifice. He previously served for 12 years as the Chief of Ambulatory Services at the North Chicago VA Medical Center before it became the Lovell FHCC. He has also formerly served as the chair of the Lovell FHCC Shareholders Advisory Council. On December 15th, 1967, the day of Sergeant Lynch's heroic actions, he was a Spec 4, radio operator assigned to Company D, 1st Battalion, 12th Cavalry, 1st Cavalry Division in Vietnam. Not only did he bravely cross ground under withering fire from the enemy on multiple occasions to rescue and render aid to his fellow injured soldiers, he protected them from a hostile enemy fire and enemy advancing, using only his rifle and grenade. His gallantry at the risk of his own life is the highest tradition of military service. He was presented the Medal of Honor by President Richard Nixon on May 14, 1970. Please welcome Medal of Honor recipient Anna Lynch, who's here to present the Medal of Honor Foundation plaque, which we proudly will hang in the 100th Fisher House. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Vertically challenged. It is a great honor to present this plaque from the Medal of Honor Society to Captain Lovell. Oops, wrong guy, Bulkley. Two different heroes. Here's what it says. Dedicated to Zachary and Elizabeth Fisher for their unselfish commitment to improve the quality of life to members of our armed forces and our nation's veterans and families by providing a home away from home for those who are serving and who have served. I cannot think of a better place for this to be, my old alma mater, Downey, now Lovell Federal Medical Center.
Face that way. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Now it's time, sorry, I'm going to make just a little shameless plug, if I can. I recently published a book that's called The Sailing of the Intrepid. And we know that the Fisher House Foundation and Intrepid are hooked through the hip through the Fisher family. But there are members of the Intrepid crew that are here with us today, and I'd love to have them just stand up and be recognized. Please. For those that don't know, and my book covers it in The Sailing of the Intrepid, just real quickly, the Intrepid is probably one of the most iconic ships that the U.S. Navy has ever had. After its commissioning in 1944, spent 2 weeks on station in northern Pacific. After 2 successful missions, one at Kwajalein, the other in a truck, where they wreaked devastating havoc on the Japanese Navy. They were followed by a single Japanese bomber that launched a single torpedo that hit the Intrepid in its rudder, pinning its rudder at a 45-degree angle, making it unsteerable. As a matter of fact, it almost hit its sister ship, the Essex, in the battle group. The ingenuity of his crew got together and they decided, how do we battle the winds and the current to keep this thing moving straight? This is one of the biggest ships ever built at that point in time in history, one of the most advanced ships. They relied on the most ancient technology of sailing, of nautical experience, and that is they decided to collect all of the canvas that they could find on the ship and build themselves a 300 square foot sail that they then hung on the front of the ship, an aircraft carrier, sailed it back 3,200 miles to Hawaii. Not using it for propulsion, but using it for guidance. But that wasn't it. After being reconfigured, sent up to San Francisco, put in dry dock, took about 3 months to fix it, went back into service. Was one of the first ships in the Pacific to be hit by a Japanese kamikaze. Hit by 2. Damaged, limped back into dry dock, went back into service, got hit by 3 kamikazes. Limped back into service, back to dry dock, back into service, completed World War II, completed the Korean War, completed Vietnam, then went on to serve as the first recovery ship for the space program, pulling capsules out of the water. Were it not for Zachary Fisher, Ken's uncle, they were about to scrap that incredible ship and turn it into strip metal. But instead, Zachary stepped in, arranged the deal, was able to purchase it, talked to Mayor Koch, decided to put it along the West Side Highway in New York, and that's where it sits today as the Aeronautical, Air, Space, and Sea Museum, one of the most visited sites in the United States. And it's there today. If you want to read about it, you can pick up a copy of the book. It's called The Sailing of the Intrepid. Had to do that little plug. Which I should tell you made #1 in 3 categories on Amazon. #1 for World War II history, #1 for Vietnam history, and #1 for naval history. So there are copies still available. You can go out and get one right now. And we have certain signed copies that if purchased, proceeds from that, some of them will go to the Fisher House. Okay? So thank you. Last chamber flag. And this is the last tradition that we, before we cut the ribbon, I promise you just one more. I'd like to invite the Fisher House manager, Kim Skaropa, and President of Fisher House, Mr. Dave Coker, to the stage. Mr. Secretary, Dr. Buckley, Captain Rowe, would you all please join them too? I'll put the two of you in the middle. This tradition symbolizes the transfer of each new Fisher House from the Fisher House Foundation to the entity that becomes responsible for operations and maintenance of the Captain James Lovell Federal Health Care Center. Dave, on behalf of the Fisher House Foundation, please present the symbolic Fisher House key to the VA team, who are going to be charged with the responsibility of taking care of all who enter its doors. Thank you so much. Thank you. We want to thank everyone who's joined the ceremony today. You're welcome to take a tour of this beautiful house. We can't really wait to show it off. And now before the tour begins and our reception begins, you're welcome to follow the guides out to the ribbon cutting. But before we do that, I think all of you are going to go to the ribbon cutting. Thank you. We'll let them ahead and precede us. And before we cut the ribbon, George Gandera Yaqui, Mexican native, Persian Gulf War veteran, and Daniel King Oneida, tribe member, Vietnam War veteran, will offer a very special blessing before we open the doors to our guests. I'm going to let this take place for just a second. And other than our special party, if you could just wait for 1 minute. And if you want to stand and watch set up the initial ribbon cutting, please stand and watch. Say it one more time. I got one more thing to read. I got one more thing. And if you'll all follow, I'm supposed to go inside, but if you'll all follow our guides, and they will take you out front so you can watch and enjoy the ribbon cutting. And we all want you to take a tour of the house. It's beautiful. We really can't wait to show it off. Thank you again for being a part. Once this is done, the tour is ended. Reception will be right here in the tent. And we welcome you to join our guides to the ribbon cutting.
Haudenosaunee of Wisconsin. What I did, we do an opening in our language. And what we did before everybody came and we went around the grounds here at this Fisher House to bless. Because this is the land of several other nations, the Potawatomi, the Menominee, the Sacketfox, the Miami, and others that were here that use this to pass through. They leave markings in the trees that you don't know. They bend a tree in a certain way, branches, to say which direction they follow. And this is history that's not untold. So I say my name in my language in Oneida. It's Deawela Legay. And that means he has two hearts. And also, I am born of the United Nations, in the Ugly. Turtle Clan, born into the Turtle Clan of the Haudenosaunee. People know us as the Six Nations. Before that, we were the Five Nations. And we came from New York. And where I come from now is what I say, Wisconsin, which is known as Wisconsin now. It was Oneida Territory. But through time, we were pushed to Wisconsin outside of, everybody knows, Green Bay Packer territory. I know where I'm at. But what we were going to do is a blessing. We did the blessing this morning. We're not going to go to the Fisher House. And what we asked, our ancestors, we always look to ancestors for our answers because they were here before us. They were always here before us. We do a lot of ceremonies in that way. And this is one of them, what we do on the grounds that people have walked. There's people that have been here before this ground was built, before this land was transferred to what it is today. And we ask those ancestors to come to take care of the people. We're people that are supposed to take care of our people. We listen. You hear that term, warrior. It's not somebody who fights. It's not somebody who takes another life. It's the people in our nation that step forward and take care of the people, the elders. We teach the young. We take care of the sick. We take care of all the people. We don't ask where you're from. We don't ask what tribe they are. When I got sick in March, I was in New Mexico. And the Pueblos come and took care of me because I couldn't walk for 3 days. And that's what the nations do. They look for our ancestors for that guidance. And it's just like when you're in service. I myself am a combat veteran of Vietnam. I served with the 173rd Airborne, 75th Rangers up in Bang Song. And I always tell people, when we're there, I didn't ask this person next to me anything about his religion, his life, or anything. We were brothers. We didn't do that. He watched my back, I watched his. And that's what this our nations are about. That's what this country needs to be about. Taking care. Just like this Fisher House. That's going to be dedicated. They don't ask questions. They know that person is ill. The family comes to see them. They need a place. Because a lot of times families look and say it's going to cost if I travel there. And I want to see them. And even when I was in the hospital, that's what my mom's thought was. I can't go because I can't afford it. But this place is here. These places are here for that now. To help our people. And I say our. We all look to one another. We are all one. We are all the same. Maybe just a little different, but we are all the same. And that same saying goes what we say. When I was in, the myth, the stereotype, dad from World War II told me to hang around an Indian and he'll get you out alive. He knows how to fight. Hate to tell him, but I don't want to call your dad a liar, but he ain't right. Because a bullet will go through me just as fast as it will anybody else. The only thing is, I do, and I did, see, it's red. Like everybody else. It's no other color. It's red. That's what this is. That's what this represents. We don't think of our family. We don't think of the family serves too. But I know when I went, I didn't tell my mom. I didn't tell my mom I'm going in. She didn't know where I was at half the time. But we talked and found out how she suffered. Yeah. So, the blessing is here to ask the Creator for all. Have this home for all those that share it their relatives.
Oh, you are? Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Can I do one more thing? Real quick, our way. I notice there's a man here that he's like a warrior. He don't stand up. People don't know what he did or what he does. And Montel, step forward. In our way, we honor a person. This person is like a warrior. He doesn't stand in front of people and say, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. He comes, he does it. He just does it. People don't know. A lot of people I know don't know that he's a Vietnam vet. He stepped forward just like anybody else. Did his time. But I like to honor him. This bracelet that I received and got this year from Ira Hayes. I don't know how many people know who Ira Hayes is. But this year, I would present this bracelet for my service in Vietnam. And as tradition goes,